This is the Confessions of an Eldest Daughter, where we finally say the things we were never allowed to say out loud. I'm your host, Ate Cha, and we are here to talk about growing up early, navigating adulting, career, and life beyond responsibility. First of all, gusto ko kayong batiin ng Happy New Year. Finally, it's 2026, and welcome back to the Confessions of an Eldest Daughter. And before anything else, I just want to say thank you. Thank you for the overwhelming love and support in our first episode. I received so many kind messages, shared stories, and words of encouragement. And honestly, it reminded me why this podcast needed to exist. And sinipag pa akong mag-record ng upcoming episode, so thank you so much. And I also realized na hindi lang eldest daughters yung mga listeners ko. Because on my first episode, I received messages then from men. So may mga lalaking listeners din tayo. It kind of made me think if I should rebrand na hindi lang eldest daughter, gawin ko na ba ang eldest child? But anyway, this podcast is actually open naman for everyone who wants to listen or anyone who relates to this podcast. So, thank you so much for listening and for your support, and I hope na magkasama pa rin tayo sa mga susunod nating episodes. And welcome to the second episode of the Confessions of an Eldest Daughter. And for today's episode, we're doing something a little different. So, this is our first confession episode where we spotlight an anonymous letter from one of our listeners. So moving forward, every other episode of this podcast will feature a confession from an eldest daughter who bravely chose to share her story. So this is a safe space, a space without judgment, without comparison, and without pressure to be strong all the time. Today, we're holding space for a story that might sound familiar, might feel uncomfortable, but hopefully will remind you that you are not alone. Dear Ate Cha, you can call me Sydney. I'm 24 years old. Mula pagkabata, never ko pang naranasan magkaroon ng sariling kwarto. Not to sound ungrateful, pero ang hirap ng walang personal space. During the pandemic and online classes, lalo na pag may reporting or presentation tapos naka-cellphone lang, naka-data at wala pang matinong pwesto. Nasanay ako sa mga simpleng bagay pero napapatanong din ako minsan bakit yung iba meron. Ingit na ingit ako dun sa mga classmate ko na may matinong cellphone. Lagi akong nakikihiram, nakikilaro at nakiki-FB. Tapos one day, kukuha daw ng hulugang phone and it's for my younger brother. And I was like, ha? Baka pwedeng dalawa. Pero di daw kaya ng sweldo ni Papa. Siya lang naman yung may work sa aming apat that time eh. Pero wait lang kasi. Pang games niya lang yun. I think mas kailangan ko kasi naging necessity na yung cellphone pag nasa school, especially when you have to use online resources. Ilang beses akong umiyak dahil sa cellphone. Yung ang dami kong gustong gawin at ma-enjoy pero wala. So fast forward, first job ko, hiyang-hiya pa ako magsabi sa parents ko na bibili akong cellphone kasi konti na lang matitira sa sweldo. Pumayag naman sila. Pero yung guilt, hindi talaga may iwasan. Kasi panggastos yun sa bahay eh. Birthday ng kapatid ko, binilhan siya ng bike. Sabi ko, sige, bisperas ng Pasko kasi yung birthday, kaya may ekstrang pera. Tsaka, di naman ako mahilig magbike. Though, nai-enjoy ko siya kapag nakakasakay ako. Then, eto, need naman bumili ng laptop kasi sa course niya. Pero, hati daw kami. Ang ending, siya lang ang gumagamit. To be fair, nasanay na kasi akong cellphone ko na yung ginagamit, kaya di ko rin ganong kailangan. At kahit kulang tayo sa material na bagay, bawing-bawi naman sa pagmamahal at pag-aasikaso. Kaya ako, ang hiling lang, palagi sanang makabawi. Basta kalahati ng sweldo ko, bigay kay mama. Tapos kalahati sa akin. Syempre kinukulang pa rin. Give lang kahit budget mo na kasi para doon naman talaga kaya nag-work eh. para sa pamilya. Mostly, ang napupuntahan lang ng budget ko, pamasahe at pagkain. Pero naging automatic na sa akin yung, sige, meron pa naman ako dito. Kunin nyo na muna. Di tayo makaipon. In this economy, bills pa lang at presyo ng bilihin, kulang na talaga. Pagkain na lang kaligayahan mo, sacrifice mo pa? I've been through countless silent battles, but I think I've reached rock bottom around 5 times this year. Dumating sa point na naging unemployed ako. Ang hirap maging unemployed. Ang hirap maghanap ng trabaho. Ang hirap maging mahirap. Natuto akong mangutang. Lumunok ng pride. Magbaka sakali kahit hindi gaanong ka-close yung tao. Nakakahiya pero kailangan kasi walang-wala talaga. Tapos, isipin mo na lang, sana ba nilaban ko pa na magstay sa trabaho? Pero hindi Hindi na ako masaya. For compliance na lang. Wala nang fulfillment, sabi nga sa akin. Para naging robot na lang ako. Ayoko maging robot. Isasantabi ko yung passion para sa practicality, oo. Pero yung takot na takot ka nang bumalik kasi hindi mo na alam kung paano itatawid yung bawat araw, that is when you choose yourself. Huminga, magpahinga, maghanap ng ibang paraan. Hanapin at piliin mo yung kaya mong panindigan, hindi yung napipilitan ka lang. Mental health matters so much. Mahalagang may napagsasabihan ka ng mga negative thoughts and emotions mo sa buhay kasi kapag kinimkim mo lang yun, makakaapekto sa mga responsibilities at pag-function mo araw-araw. If you think it's too much to bear, go seek help. Huwag mong isipin na mahina ka. Na failure ka kasi lahat talaga ng tao mararanasang madapa ng paulit-ulit. Ang mahalaga, bumangon din ng paulit-ulit. Always pick up the pieces no matter how painful and slow the process is. Kasi kung hindi mo tutulungan ang sarili mo, hindi mo rin matutulungan ang pamilya mo. Nakaka-pressure maging breadwinner. Na yung mga taong dumidepende na sa'yo, pero remember na sila rin yung mga taong nagtaguyod, nag-alaga, at nagmahal sa'yo from the very beginning. It's okay to give back, but also leave something for yourself. Love, Sydney. Grabe, Sydney. Thank you so much for sending your heartfelt letter. I'm sure maraming makaka-relate once they listen to this podcast. To be honest, habang binabasa ko yung letter, natitiri-eye ako. Actually, habang nagre-record ako right now, I feel like I wanna cry. It's very emotional. And the letter is very raw. So, nung binasa ko siya while recording, it's the same exact letter na binigay sa akin ni Sydney. Wala akong dinagdag o binawas. So, let's talk about and dissect Sydney's confession. Ano ba yung natutunan natin from her experience? And grabe no, kapag talaga panganay ka, you will really have to sacrifice a lot of things. And yung bagay or isang salita na tumatak sa akin while reading Sydney's letter is a word, sacrifice. Grabe, Sydney had to sacrifice a lot of things for her family. She's so selfless and she's so strong. Now let's talk about Sydney's story. Let's dive in. Ano ba yung mga natutunan natin mula dun sa mga binanggit niya? Una, lack of personal space. So, nabanggit doon ni Sydney na wala siyang sariling kwarto. Sabi niya, never ko pang naranasan magkaroon ng sariling kwarto. Ang hirap ng walang personal space. I get that. It's so hard. And I think common to sa Filipino families. Like, yung mga typical, simple Filipino families, diba? Like, nagsasama-sama matulog sa isang kwarto. And it's really a privilege if you have your own room. And napakahirap nang wala kang personal space. Kasi una, sometimes you want to be creative. Ayan, like pag meron ka ring online classes or kung meron ka mang work from home, yung mga bagay na yan. If you experience or if you do those things, ang hirap kapag laging may dumadaan sa likod mo, may biglang nagsasalita sa likod mo. Of course, nawawalan ka ng focus. So, having a room is really a privilege. So if you do have your own room, guys, take that as an advantage because you have your own privacy. And sobrang hirap. For example, gusto mong mag-breakdown. Hindi ka makapag-breakdown, hindi ka makaiyak kasi nga wala kang sariling kwarto. And eldest daughters often grow up adjusting instead of asking why. And I think Sydney realized kung ano yung kalagayan ng family niya and she never complained. And grabe nga yung selflessness ni Sydney. Like, I can really feel how kind and how sacrificing she is as a sister. And biruin mo, panganay siya, nag-aaral ng college, nag-pandemic, ang daming dumaan na taon. Pero she's still here. She's still providing for her family. And this lack of personal space is one of the things or is one of the struggles that she experienced growing up. And guys, I just want to tell you that personal space is not arte or luxury. It's actually emotional safety. If you have a room, you will feel more comforted. I mean, oo, masama na magkulong ng magkulong sa kwarto. Pero imagine mo na lang if you're confined to a space where you can just shed all your emotions and shed all your creativity. Parang ang sarap sa pakiramdam, diba? I do understand you, Sydney, and it's okay to grieve the things that you didn't have. And being grateful doesn't cancel out exhaustion or sadness. And you're allowed to want more, Sydney. I also want to tell you, hindi ka spoiled for wanting space. You're human. It's natural to desire for your own personal space. And I hope na dumating sana yung panahon na you can afford your own personal space, personal apartment, or even your own personal home. So you can feel safe that you'll be able to express yourself and shed your creativity sa sarili mong space. Second, nabanggit sa letter ni Sydney is yung being the eldest means being the automatic sacrifice. It reminded me of the song Eldest Daughter of Taylor Swift. Yung line na being the eldest daughter is the first lamb to the slaughter. So if you're familiar with that, or if you're not familiar to that, listen to that song if you're an eldest daughter. That's like the eldest daughter anthem. But going back, nabanggit niya dito, diba, na ang dami niyang sinacrifice. So number 1 is yung phone para sa kapatid niya. According to Sydney, it was a struggle for her. Oo nga naman, no, pansin ko din kapag yung mga magulang may bibilhing gamit, hindi lang gadget, paggamit, usually talaga pinapriority yung bunso or yung mas nakababata. And I think that's already part of the Filipino culture na if you're the eldest, you have to learn how to sacrifice and how to just swallow it as a hard pill na the youngest deserves more than you. Pero hindi yun totoo, ha. I want to remind you na you deserve the best things in life. And I think hindi natin kasi mapipilit or masisisi yung parents natin eh. Yung unspoken rule or yung unspoken word na mas kaya mo naman pagtisan. So, there are certain parents na ganun kasi yung thinking. Dito natin nakikita yung needs ng eldest are postponed indefinitely. And sa totoo lang, we have this quiet resentment na we're actually ashamed to admit. Pero gusto ko lang tandaan nyo guys, sa mga listeners, your needs are not less important just because you're older. And sacrifice should not be one-sided forever. And it's okay, ha? It's okay to feel hurt even if you love your family. And guys, yung pagiging panganay, it's not a lifetime vow of deprivation. Parang awan nyo na, tandaan nyo yan. Again, pagiging panganay is not a lifetime vow of deprivation. Tandaan nyo that we deserve the best things in life. Kaya minsan iniisip ko kapag nagsasplurge ako. Hindi naman like nagsasplurge ng grabe. Every time that I wanna spoil myself, like, to buy things for my collection, I sometimes think na I really deserve this. It's part of healing my inner child. And yeah, you're able to buy things na gusto mong bilhin nung bata ka pa lang. Now na may work ka na, you can buy those things. And there will come a time that you'll be able to buy it. Kasi minsan, wala talaga tayong magagawa hanggat wala pa tayong pera. That's the sad reality. And even if we try to voice out sa parents natin nung bata tayo na gusto ko rin ng ganito, bilhin mo rin ako ng ganito, sometimes they don't listen. I think parents really have this mentality na they know what's best, and what's best is for our younger sibling. And bilang panganay, bilang nakakatanda, all we ever did was to adjust. Na tayong mas matanda, tayo yung mas malawak dapat. But yeah, it's part of our culture and it's sad. Pero remember na you deserve the best things in life. So Sydney, kapit ka lang. I know darating din yung time na you'll be able to heal your inner child. Third, sa letter ni Sydney, she also mentioned about financial guilt and yung breadwinner burnout. Nahiyang-hiya siyang bumili ng cellphone. Kalahati daw ng sweldo niya binibigay niya agad sa mama niya at hindi siya makaipon. I think it's very relatable for everyone. Na kapag you work hard, you have this guilt of spending on yourself because you always have to think about others first, about your family first. And dito na papasok yung how money becomes tied to worth and love, which is nabanggit ko rin sa first episode ko last time na I feel more loved if I am useful sa family ko. And na-realize ko lalo ngayon na hindi lang ako yung nakaka-experience nun. A lot of eldest daughters, and isa dito si Sydney. And breadwinner identity is actually swallowing personal dreams. Nabanggit din ni Sydney dito na isa 'di ba sa struggles niya yung hindi na siya masaya sa work niya. And she's just doing that. She's just working because she has to provide for her family. And that's the sad reality living here in the Philippines. Na you really have to choose practicality over your own passion. Yung quote na sinasabing para sa pamilya. Becoming automatic even when it actually hurts. I just want to remind you, Sydney, and to our listeners, giving is beautiful, but self-neglect is not a requirement. Please, you are allowed to set limits without being selfish. Oo, we need to set boundaries. We really need to set boundaries and it's really hard. Pero kasi if we keep on giving and giving, darating talaga yung time na mauubos tayo, mababurnout tayo, and hindi na tayo makakapag-work. We won't be able to function. And it was one of the things that I experienced last year and it's really scary. Working while you're still burned out. So, Sydney, habang nasa point ka pa lang na aware ka na nababurnout ka na, please, allow to set limits, boundaries sa sarili mo. You may not have a choice, but remember, you guys are a family. It's not a requirement na ikaw lang yung sumalo ng lahat. Okay? You can ask for help. Do not be afraid na sabihin sa parents mo na kailangan mo rin ng tulong. Kasi if you're the only one who's gonna sacrifice again and again, mauubos ka. And it's gonna be so hard to rise again if that happens. I also want to remind you that financial contribution does not define your value as a daughter. No matter how big, how small yung binibigay mo yan, that's your hard-earned money. You're sacrificing your time, even your passion, just to provide. And think of it as a prize. Think of it as something na hindi lahat ng tao ginagawa para sa pamilya nila. And I'm very sure, Sydney, that your family is very grateful and blessed to have you. The fourth takeaway dito is yung unemployment, poverty, and silent shame. Nabanggit ni Sydney sa letter yung line na, ang hirap maging unemployed. Natuto akong mangutang, lumunok ng pride. And this shows us how society romanticizes resilience but ignores survival, the shame of asking for help, and poverty as a trauma, not laziness, and how elders often carry the burden quietly. Ang hirap talaga maging mahirap sa Pilipinas, guys. And I know you are experiencing this. Sobrang hirap in this economy na makapag-ipon while providing for the family, and at the same time, you also have to think about yourself. You need to invest. Ang daming mga financial guru na nagsasabi sa atin na dapat in your early 20s, nakakapag-ipon ka na, meron ka na dapat ganito, naguhulog ka dito, nag-invest ka sa ganyan. Pero in reality, that's not realistic. If you are just a minimum wage earner in the Philippines, how are you supposed to support your family, support yourself, and then invest? And that's the very sad thing in the Philippines. Ay, mapapapuntong hininga ka na lang talaga. Kasi hindi mo alam kung paano mo pagkakasyahin yung sweldo mo. To the point na nagkukulang na, and ayan, kagaya ng experience ni Sydney, she has to borrow money from people that she knows. And guys, this is something na mabigat sa kalooban ni Sydney, of course. Kasi she has to do it eh. Kung hindi, wala siyang pangbibigay sa family niya, or wala siyang pangpasok or baon sa trabaho. And it's something na nararanasan ng karamihan sa atin. It's a hard cycle to actually break. But I know na through our skills, Sydney, naniniwala ako sa'yo na darating yung point na makakaalis ka rin sa cycle na yan. Lalo na kung makapagtapos na yung kapatid mo, I'm hoping na yung kapatid mo will be able to help your family as well. I hope na makaalis ka dun sa scenario kung saan the children are the insurance of the family. I really pray for you, and I pray for your future, for your career, for your family. And I know, Sydney, na grabe yung mga sakripisyong binigay mo sa family mo. I want to remind you na hirap ka, pero hindi ka kulang. Fifth is choosing yourself versus choosing stability. Sydney mentioned na parang naging robot na siya doon sa work niya. And that is the time when she realized that she has to choose herself. And this is where we talk about staying in jobs that kill your spirit. We have the fear of leaving because others depend on us. We also have this feeling of guilt when we try to rest. And I want to remind you that choosing yourself doesn't mean abandoning your family. You are not selfish for choosing to breathe. Sydney also said mental health matters. And this is a mga line na nagustuhan ko dun sa letter is, kung hindi mo tutulungan ng sarili mo, hindi mo rin matutulungan ng pamilya mo. Which is true. We tend to prioritize our family or other people, and we always put ourselves on the back burner. Pero kasi tayo yung nagtatrabaho, tayo yung gumagawa ng mga bagay para kumita ng pera. So, kung tayo yung last sa list natin, if we do not take care of ourselves, at pag nagkasakit tayo, na burnout tayo, how are we supposed to move and earn more money? So it's something na gusto kong i-remind sa inyo, eldest daughters, to our listeners, please do not put yourself on the back burner. Prioritize yourself, okay, before other people. It's bad to be super duper sacrificial. Masyado nating nire-romanticize yung idea of being the breadwinner, na akala nila, uy, grabe, ang sipag naman ito. Believe talaga ako dito sa taong to. Siya yung nagpo-provide sa family niya. Pero, please, wag mo namang kalimutan yung sarili mo. Hindi mo talaga matutulungan nun. Hindi ka na makakapag-provide sa family mo if you are not mentally, emotionally, physically well. You are allowed to be the one who needs support. Hindi laging sila. Ikaw din. Tao ka lang. You need help. Sydney, thank you for trusting me and all of us, the listeners, with your story. Thank you for putting into words what so many eldest daughters have been quietly carrying for years. I hope you know that you are seen, you are loved, you are heard, and you are not weak for feeling tired. For sure, maraming nakarelate sa story natin today. And Sydney, believe na believe ako sa'yo. Grabe yung sacrifice na binigay mo sa pamilya mo, and we're here for you. This podcast is a safe space for eldest daughters who learned how to give before they learned how to ask. For those who are exhausted but still trying, and for anyone who feels like they have grown up too soon. And if you're listening right now and you have a story you've been holding in, you don't have to carry it alone. You can send your confession letter to charlenemaycanless@gmail.com. Again, charlenemaycanless@gmail.com. CharleneMaycanless@gmail.com. This is a judgment-free space, and your story matters here. Thank you for listening to the second episode of the Confessions of an Eldest Daughter. I hope this conversation reminded you that you are more than what you carry, and it's okay to rest, to grow, and to choose yourself. If this episode spoke to you, make sure to follow the podcast on Spotify so you won't miss future episodes. And if you know another eldest daughter or anyone tired of adulting, share this episode with them. Let's create a space where we finally say the things we were never allowed to say out loud. Until next time, I'm Ate Cha, and remember, you are not alone in this journey. And I am so proud of you.